Welcome to the Dog Chug, Roger and Ross. How's it going tonight?
I'm a little disgruntled. On top of the whole Cheeto thing, I was kind of kicking around the house. We went to Dairy Queen and they forgot my hot fudge sundae. We get home and everybody got all their food and I got my chili dog and I didn't get my hot fudge. Well, there was 4. We ordered 4 of them. There were 3 in the bag and Jack's like, "Yours is the one that's missing." I was like, "How do you know it's mine?" But that was their story. The 3 of them. That mine was the one that was missing. So,
do you want to take a mental health day from the Dog?
I was thinking. You know what? It has to be Browns related. I already checked.
All right.
Well, he needs a day off. Definitely. We'll Uber him. We'll Uber him some hot fudge sundae or a Blizzard even.
That stinks. They should have split the 3 hot fudge sundaes 4 ways. That would have been the right way to go. Hey, Roger, why didn't you just split the hot fudge sundae 4 ways? The 3 that you had.
Well, if you ask my sons that, they just said, "Dad, yours wasn't in the bag. Sorry about your luck." And
when my kids try and be selfish with me, I point out that they need to share, and I try and put good values on them. What are you doing?
They run me. They're in charge. The 3 boys are in charge. They say, "Oh man, eat your hot dogs and watch baseball. Leave us alone." Basically,
this is going to hell. Well.
And that's on top of Tito and everything. Ross,
yes, you were saying.
Yeah.
It was this last game. We're all wearing our tribe gear.
I got the special thank you Tito shirt. I was at the game tonight.
It's awesome.
I did leave early because I was with my 2 sons, both under the age of 5.
Right.
For anyone watching, PSA, baseball games where you have to be home by a certain time for bedtime with your kids, not worth it. Find a time where they can stay awake and you don't have to worry about time limits and whatever else is going on.
All right. Well, the audience is really here to have us talk about chocolate sundaes and bringing kids to baseball games. They're here for BG. And last time we had them on, we waited way too long to bring them on. So we learn from our mistakes. So welcome back to the Dog Chug. BG!
Wow, that was quick. All right. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
We are so happy to have you back. It was one of my personal favorite shows. Ross missed that one, so he's excited for the chance to be on a BG podcast.
Somebody said the last time we left you in the green room so long, you ate all the pudding cups in the fridge. So we didn't want that. We didn't want that to happen again. The break room was a mess. So
I understand.
Bring in early now, yeah.
First of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't take my hat off to Tito for all the years of service that he's given us in the city of Cleveland. He's one of the best managers I can remember. As a Cleveland fan, and for our baseball team. So much respect and love out to him, and hope everything goes well for him in his retirement.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Tito meant a lot to that organization and the city of Cleveland, man, in baseball.
Yes, he did.
I hope there's not a big drop-off, man. I hope we don't miss him too much next year.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds.
It's going to be interesting. This is going to be a great show. BG's got some amazing stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun. But before we get to all that, I think it's time for the Dog Chug update.
All right.
Woo. What everyone's been waiting for all week.
Yes. All right. I'm going to start us off this time. So, as we were just mentioning, after 11 years, Tito Francona played his final game in Cleveland in what ended up being a 4-3 victory over the Cincinnati Reds. And as much as I love Terry, and he will be my favorite manager of all time, at least I believe that, I'm kind of okay with this move. Why, you ask? Well, first of all, I thought the season ended 4 weeks ago and had no idea baseball was even still going on until this game got mentioned. It was this last. Also, next season, when fans are bitching about whatever sad sap takes over and the dumb mistakes he makes squandering our young talent, at least people will be talking about the Guardians for a change.
That's all that matters, right, Roger?
That's all that matters.
Baseball is hard.
Baseball is hard. Myles Garrett recorded 3.5 sacks Sunday to become the sack leader in Cleveland, surpassing Bill Glass. Asked if he was excited to hit this milestone, Miles said, "Not really, to be honest. I can't stop obsessing on what could have been. I figure I could be hitting sack 100 if I skipped that Dungeons and Dragons party and contracted COVID, which derailed my 2020 season, or if I hadn't smacked that little bitch with my helmet, which killed my 2019 season, or in 2022 when I tried to hit the 100-mile-an-hour road head club and crashed my Porsche. But man, just wait until you see what I've planned to kill in 2023. It's going to be an fucking epic."
Oh boy. You know, we missed a perfect opportunity to shatter Bill Glass's record. Joke. Cleveland is one of the teams rumored to be interested in trading for Davante Adams, the elite wideout with the Las Vegas Raiders, who are actually slumping worse than Andy's sports betting this season. Davante actually weighed in and he said, "Hell yeah, Cleveland is my top choice. They might be cold and the nightlife sure ain't Vegas, but if it ensures I never have to go up against that secondary in a game, sign me the fuck up." That's right. I said fuck. I know Coach McDaniels told us not to say fuck, but fuck that fat fuck. Me and the rest of the guys are done listening, so fuck that fuckity fuck shit. Go Browns.
Roger, were you in the Navy?
To joint, but
That was Davante Adams, not him.
Oh, okay. Was he in the Navy? Okay.
Yeah,
When
we
it
were
comes to the Browns, he's going to clean his act up, right?
we were just reading the quote. Anyway, let's move on. After 3 games,
what
your
happened?
Cleveland Browns officially have the number 1 ranked defense. Coach Stefanski weighed in and said, "I don't want to credit Jim Schwartz and Andrew Berry, but I can say with certainty that the credit is all due to me. This team had a top 5 defense all along, but I purposely held them back for 3 seasons by allowing that awful Joe Woods to stay and ensure these guys were so confused and underperformed so much they would consider retiring from football. Now, I did this because I'm not only an offensive genius, I'm also a defensive genius at motivating these guys because I knew if we got them an average defensive coordinator, they'd be so relieved that they don't actually suck that they'd play lights out all season. I'm also a social media genius because my plan will also create the most obnoxious football fans that the world has ever seen." Well done.
That's 5D chess right there.
Right.
Smart guy. Analytics. During last Sunday's game, Amari Cooper caught a pass that was at least 6 inches from going out of bounds, but the official blew the play dead, believing he stepped out of bounds. When asked how he could bungle the play so badly, considering he was standing in perfect position, the official said, "It's not my fault. I was high-fiving Minka Fitzpatrick for taking Art Rooney's money and not flagging one of his dirty hits. And when he went up to strike my hand, he accidentally gouged my eyeballs clean from the sockets with a fork."
Oh, jeez. Now that
Jadeveon Clowney, he's making his return to Cleveland Browns Stadium, and he's going to face his old team when the Baltimore Ravens play Cleveland this Sunday. And he claimed that there's no extra motivation for this one. When asked how that could be possibly true, given how things ended up here, Clowney said, "Because in order to have motivation in the first place, you have to give a shit. And I don't give a shit because I was just here for the money." And yeah, that's right. I said shit. And I don't care if that's inappropriate because I'm here expressing myself. Sometimes that means saying shit. And if you don't like it, too bad. Like I said, I'm just here for the money and I haven't even been paid yet.
All right. Now I think we have Roger's top 10.
You always do it to me where I got to follow. I got to shift gears here and take a drink of beer.
Drink with you.
You know what? Our top 10 tonight, Ross actually came up with did all the hard work on coming up with the topic for us. And if you're an offensive coordinator right now, you're probably wondering what the hell you're going to do. You know, how you're going to face the Cleveland Browns defense. So what we got here is the top 10 ways to prepare for the Browns defense. These are going to be the top 10 ways to prepare for the Browns defense. Number 10, you go to Clackamas, Oregon, and hire Jeff Stone, a.k.a. Jeff Galooly, to kneecap Denzel Ward. So as soon as I read that Jeff Galooly has an alias and lives in Oregon, I wasn't surprised in the least. Number 9, you could do this. You can get Mika Fitzpatrick to cheap shot Myles Garrett.
Ooh,
You can get
man.
that.
Oh,
That'll help you. Number 8, get a player from the team to date Taylor Swift, and that's all anybody's going to care about.
it's true.
Nobody will care if you. Number 7, repeatedly practice your fire drill because shit will break down and your quarterback will be running for his life. So get that fire drill in order. Number 6, make 2 punters available because we will wear one the fuck out. Bring 2 punters.
Language, Roger.
Number 5, don't bother watching any tape because if it only ruin your day. I don't have my reading glasses on. Number 4, ask Joey Burrow exactly when he decided to give up and sit on the bench, so not to look like a bigger quitter than him. You don't want to go out before Joey. Number 3, rip Myles Garrett's helmet off and yell racial slurs at him. That'll help. That'll get him out of the game. Number 2, get an offensive coordinator that uses badassery as an adjective to describe his units played in the media. Get somebody badass like Schwartz. And the number 1 way to prepare for the Cleveland Browns defense, don't do nothing. There's nothing you can do. You're fucking screwed. And that is the Dog Chug Top 10.
Well done, Roger.
Man, I do miss some of that swearing on the Dog Chug. I'm glad we're back.
I'm Roger First. I'm going to be called into the office on Monday.
Roger, you're proving that not only is baseball hard, but reading is hard. Well
Got
done.
me fired up. All right, the floor is yours.
Hey, Roger. Hey.
There you go. Drew knows.
All right.
That was
BG,
impressive. Yes,
where we wanted to have you back on because you are the voice of the Browns. You're the voice of the fans. You break it down. Well, I think you are. I love listening to you. Go on his spaces. He will break down what's going on so accurately. It's amazing. Very fun thing to do at 11 a.m. I highly recommend. But we want to have you on. We're 3 games into the season. We've already had a roller coaster of a season. We were going to win the Super Bowl, and then we had to trade Deshaun Watson, and now we're back. So where do you see us? Where's your head at? The floor is yours. And I think the 3 of us and everyone playing from home, if he says something you agree with, show him some respect by taking a swig of beer or whatever you're drinking.
Where we're at right now, I think we're on the right track. I definitely think the offense is trending in the right direction. There's been things that I've seen in the first 3 games that had showed that. Unfortunately, in the first game was a weather game, so that really wasn't able to show itself. I mean, the Monday night game was a debacle because of the turnovers, but yet I still saw things in that game that showed positivity. I mean, as much as a disaster that it was, and that's all people see on the surface. I look kind of like below the surface, and I saw some things there that was very encouraging. And then the Tennessee game, I would have to say this is the first time since Deshaun has been back under center for the Browns. Middle of the second quarter, he had total command of that game. I mean, he was totally in charge of everything that was going on. He had total command of the game. He did what he wanted to do. He performed the way he wanted to perform. It was just all really, really, really good from that point on. And I told Ross this earlier. I sent it to him in a DM that I think that the first drive in the third quarter for the Browns. It was an 11-play, 86-yard drive, took 5 minutes and plus off the clock. I think that's the drive we're going to look at, months from now or deeper into the season, that was the turning point for the Browns offensively. Yeah.
It definitely felt like that's our potential identity, like kill clock while still using all of our skill set.
The Titans actually got the ball to start that half and 3 and out. You're worried they're going to get back in the game. Nope.
Yeah. And amazingly enough on that drive and all throughout the game, by the way, they figured out a way to replace the production of Chubb. Okay. Between Elijah Moore, Jerome Ford, and Kareem Hunt, total yards now, passing and running, they found 155 yards of production. Usually that's Nick Chubb's production, or maybe 120, somewhere in that range. Okay. But the Stefanski and his coaching staff figured out a way to replace that production, which I thought on a short week, mind you, coming off a Monday night game, it's pretty remarkable.
You know who's I thought about Brian exactly on the same page as you, but you know whose blueprint that is? The guy that sits up in the top office. Well, not Haslam, the guy underneath Haslam. That's Paul Podesta. Let's see if we can find three guys that can give the same production as one guy did. At that, baseball is about money, but here is about injury. You know, let's go out and get Kareem Hunt, who knows the system, could jump in, and man, did he jump in. I know you want to get to him, but that's a Paul Podesta formula. Let's see if we can get the same production out of these three guys, or what three guys do we need to get the same production that Nick Chubb gave us? You know, and that's a Moneyball formula right there, man, and it worked beautifully.
Well, yeah, all right. And if you want to go to a baseball sense, okay, so your four hitter goes down and he's hitting 30 home runs, right? But he's only hitting 275.
Right.
Well, if you put somebody in that four hole that hits 325 with a tremendous on base percentage and can still drive in those runs,
right?
Doesn't need to hit the home run. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's still productive.
Still production.
So you're exactly right.
Doesn't matter how you get there.
Pretty much.
Love it. All right, what else you got for us?
I know. Yeah, keep going.
Well, I mean,
I open a whole beer.
I really want to talk about the Kareem Hunt effect.
Really?
Okay. And you know that I think that signing means a lot more than just adding another running back to the room, and even that somebody's that's familiar with the room. There's a lot of layers to this. Number one, you know, he's a guy that's, you know, accustomed, who knows the coaching staff, knows how to line blocks, knows the plays, doesn't have to come in and basically learn anything, right? But he's also there for his boy. He's there for Nick Chubb. Him and Nick Chubb were best friends.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't really want to relive it because, to be honest with you, Nick Chubb was probably my favorite Cleveland Browns player since Brian Sight. And I'm just being truthful with you. To watch him go down in the manner that he went down was really hard to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're Nick Chubb's best friend, such as Kareem Hunt is, I'm sure, in fact, I know that was hard for him to watch too. Okay. And I told you guys something before we came on the air that I haven't said in the space yet. And I'm going to say it tonight for the first time. Kareem came in.
Dog Chug exclusive.
There you go. Kareem came in not only with motivation to play for his boy, right? His best friend. Came in 10 pounds lighter also. And if we can get the Kareem Hunt that was in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes when he won the rushing title, as this passing game evolves here with Deshaun Watson, look out. Because one of the reasons why, Kareem was able to go off in the running game when he was in Kansas City was because of the passing game that Kansas City had. So as this passing game takes off for us, which I've been preaching all summer, anywhere between game 6 and games 8 is when I think it's all going to be poetry in motion. With Kareem's new incentive in life, basically, his new commitment also, and playing for his boy, being 10 pounds lighter, that can really come to fruition for us. It really can.
You know what, Ed? You're exactly right. And they were talking about it today with Elijah Wood. It was Ken Carmen this morning. Is he really a running back? What it is, the passing game is going to open it up like he did with KC for Kareem Hunt. And also, it just opens up the whole running thing. Man, I'm excited about Kareem Hunt, man. He came in. They ran a screenplay in the third quarter that was, first of all, it was the perfect play call at the perfect time. There was nobody out there but the blockers. And it was just vintage Kareem Hunt where he took it and he just bulldozed down the field, man. It opens up. This passing game is going to open so much up. And it reminds me, he came in It reminds me of like Rocky when Apollo trained him. All of a sudden he's hitting left, he's fighting. 20 pounds under, he looks slim. He just looked good, man. I'm excited about Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, no, for real. And the other aspect of that, talking about Elijah Moore, I talked about this a little bit, actually a couple of days ago and this morning when I ran my space. The one thing that popped off to me in that game was Pierre Strong. Pierre Strong looked pretty good in the run game. Okay.
Yeah, he does.
With that element added, that gives Stefanski the opportunity with Kareem Hunt coming back. Now you got 3 legitimate running backs, not Nick Chubb type running backs, but you got 3 legitimate running backs that's going to give you production both on the ground and in the air, where you could now take Elijah and actually exemplify his route running tree. Okay. You can now line him up in the slot. You don't have to line him up in the backfield anymore. Now you're still going to see your end arounds and your jet sweeps and so on and so forth, but you could now put him in that slot where he could be deadly, especially if he gets the right matchup, and he can be 40, 50 yards down the field, where we don't have to rely on him to be part of the running game anymore. If you follow what I'm saying. So the emergence of Pierre Strong, the way he looked, again, not saying he's elite by any stretch of the imagination, but we have to, when it comes to the run game right now in Cleveland, we have to focus on the word productive. The word elite is gone until next year when Nick is able to come back. But if it's productive, that's a totally different element. Now that allows you to do a lot more things differently with your defense. With your offense. So that's how I feel about that part of it. But you're right about, the Elijah Moore take.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think he has a lot. They're gonna be able to scheme him up, and that's the thing is just I think Kevin Stefanski can scheme Elijah Moore up to be productive. And I think the passing game is what's going to open that up with Amari Cooper and DPJ, man. He made 2 catches that were just Dave Logan-ish, man. They were just beautiful, falling back. They were just, how did he catch that moments, man? I love DPJ. I'm a DPJ guy, and he just makes the tough catches for you. So I think it's
I wonder
all
why
gonna,
Roger's a DPJ guy. Just curious.
DPJ.
No.
Thanks,
You did it. Ross did it. It's Ross.
I knew that was going to come out.
Hey, Roger, what do you think about Ohio State? You kept claiming they were going to blow that game against Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, they went into the prevent winning defense like everybody does, and they were handling Ohio State all day, all night, and then they go into prevent. They let them march down the field. But everybody, just November 25th or whatever day it is, show up at the big house, and we'll give you the L and send you on your way.
We'll have some good bets going on for that game.
I say extend Ryan Day. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. He's a beaut. Extend him.
He's growing into the job.
Hey, you know what? Lou Holtz was right. He just said it. Notre Dame wasn't the team. They just blew it. But Lou Holtz is right. Ohio State gets pushed around the field, and they have been getting pushed around the field. So Lou Holtz was right. For the record,
you get angry
there goes 25 followers right there.
When your kids take your Sunday, you get angry.
You asked it. You started that one.
You started it by putting the Michigan hat on.
All right. We'll go back to the Browns.
This is starting to sound like a space. I love it.
All right. Hey, we're back.
I know.
Roger, the Browns fan. What's up?
Hey, we're back. Everything good.
There you go.
BG, you said I know you really focused on the Titans game, which was amazing. I was there. It was a very fun time. 2-0 at the Browns game, so having good times. We got another big game coming up this Sunday. Have you started, going over how the Browns are going to win that game?
Well, yeah, I did. Baltimore, they still have their issues. Okay, their offensive line is banged up, even though they may get a couple of starters returned. But kind of what I noticed over the last couple of games is it's becoming the kind of like what it was last year. Lamar's starting to rely a lot back on his legs. Okay. Todd Monken, yeah, he's there now. Yeah, the offense is supposed to change. But what I saw in the Indy game, he gets in a little bit of trouble back there and his instincts kick in and he's going to become who he once was. So, I mean, they got issues there. They cannot get pressure unless they blitz. That's the other thing I picked up on. And all 4 times that Kyle Hamilton got into the backfield, you could see it coming. I mean, I'm watching this game and I'm like, okay, here he comes. But Gardner Minshew, apparently after getting smacked 3 times, still failed to pay attention to the man. I think if you get to the line of scrimmage with time on a clock with a smooth operation, which Indy didn't do, Deshaun's going to be able to pick that blitz up, and they're going to be able to, either audible or figure out what to do with that when it does come about, because their secondary is suspect. They can't get pressure up front with only 4. They've got to blitz and able to do that. I think the advantage goes to the Browns on that side of the ball.
Can we stop Lamar Jackson? A lot of teams have difficulties stopping that guy. He's a playmaker.
Well, interestingly enough, I'm going to have to go back to a stat that I picked up here.
BG, while you're looking that up, we got a special victory chug interruption to do.
All right.
Go right ahead.
Eddie, what's up?
Yeah, Eddie, there you are.
What are you chugging?
This is a Blockhouse Brewing Company pumpkin ale.
Nice.
What percentage is that?
I believe it's 7.
Whew.
That's
Nice.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Nice, man.
Should try chugging 4 of them in a minute, just saying.
I love it. I got the
Yeah,
Edmund out. We got fall beer going.
Andy, I cannot do what you do. Chug 4 of them in a minute.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
I would have to train for like a year out from starting right now to learn how to do that. And no.
I think I'd rather eat that pumpkin filling out of the can than drink pumpkin beer like he did.
Yeah. You
Well,
should. I'm
There
gonna
you go. Victory chug.
what color my poops were. It was disgusting.
Before I chugged this, the Browns defense was dominant, and I heard that's what you guys were just talking about. They can neutralize Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's still going to get his. He's Lamar Jackson. But they can neutralize him where it's not the big explosive plays because 2 players, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Grant Delpit. They both have the speed, the athleticism. They can meet him in the open field, and they can bring him down in the open field. And the way Jim Schwartz has Delpit playing and JOK playing, that spells trouble for Baltimore.
Love it. Love it. All right. I'm
Love
gonna
it.
chug.
I love it, man.
Let's go.
Right on.
Here we go.
Oh, I got to grab mine. There you go. There we go.
Oh, man, he's going. Nice.
Nice. So, what do you think the final score is going to be?
I said on my podcast earlier, 27-13 originally, then I switched to 27-10.
Wow. Docking points already. And it's Wednesday. I
Right.
love it.
When that pumpkin beer hits, do you think you'll get it down to 23-7?
That could be. I actually don't know. I might be 27-6 because I don't know if the Ravens score a touchdown.
They do have Justin Tucker, so
There's one.
there's gonna be at
You know
least
what? And he missed a long one.
He
He's
did.
got to move in.
61
Move
yards.
in, Justin. You don't have the leg no more. And somebody, and I'm counting on Thornhill, I do not want to see their tight end catch one of those prayers that Lamar is trapped in the corner 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage that he just whips up into nowhere that somebody comes down with. That's what I want. We stopped that against Baltimore. We beat Baltimore. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of plays that would get us, where he's just scrambling around, and you said Koramoah and Delpit shadowing him. I think we can lock him up. I don't want to see the tight end catch one of those lucky passes. I will lose my mind.
Well, interestingly enough, I watched the Indy D line get pressure with just 4 guys. Now, I understand. I get it. They got DeForest Buckner. But the rest of that line doesn't match up to what we have as well. And, I mean, they harassed him pretty much all day with just 4 guys. I think they blitzed 1 time in that game. 1 time throughout that whole game, including overtime. So And then here's another little stat on Lamar that I dug up.
Great.
On 51 dropbacks this past so far this year, with no pressure. Okay, he's about 80% completion percentage, damn good. 8 yards per attempt, that's pretty good. 2.4 seconds, he's got the ball out with no pressure. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. On 20 dropbacks under pressure so far, under pressure, his completion percentage drops over 20%, down to 58.3. Okay. His yards per attempt are basically cut in half, 4.7. But here's the most interesting statistic of this whole thing. His average time to throw under pressure, 3.3 seconds. Now, if you think about that, he's holding the ball. Because what that's telling me, you take away his first read, you're adding a full second. Hence, when he becomes under pressure. Now, with our secondary and as aggressive as we are up front, should be able to take that first read away very quickly.
Absolutely.
And it should be a long day trying to decipher what they're going to do.
All right, Eddie just went from it's 27-0. Like that's the new score prediction. They're not
You
scoring.
got me ready to run through a wall.
27-0.
I love it. Eddie, when we win this Sunday, you're going to come on next week and you're going to chug something. What are you going to chug? Because you got to step it up. This is a big game.
I think I'm going to stick with the pumpkin house or the blockhouse pumpkin house.
You're going to do two pumpkin houses?
Maybe one at the beginning of the show, one at the end of the show. How's that sound?
All right. We'll lock you in on that. We'll take it.
Perfect. I
It's
love
an
it.
over under 2.
Well, it's not going to be over, so I would bet
We're gonna
I would bet the even.
Even
money
at
line
2.
too.
Okay.
Love it. All right. We're going to move along. We're going to play a little game called Q&A with BG, where we're going to ask BG questions, and you don't know the questions we're going to ask. You're just going to give us your answer. Try and keep them a little on the shorter side so we can move things along here. But some of them are serious, some are a little sillier. But best part is
me the last time.
anyone you answer, we're obviously like at the end of the season, we're gonna find the one you were like the most wrong with, and we're just gonna like blast that all over Twitter, and you're gonna look like a fool.
Get your pen and paper out, boys.
All right, let's see. 3 games in. Who is your favorite to finish with the best record in the AFC in the entire conference? And there, which team will get the first round bye?
Kansas City.
All right, makes sense.
Mainly because their division is terrible. I mean, I'll just leave it at that.
Don't sleep on the Chargers.
Yeah, not a Chargers fan?
No, I'm not a Staley fan at all.
That's fair. That's one of the most fair things I've heard. That's fantastic.
All right, well, then this question will be very appropriate. What month of the season will Josh McDaniels be fired?
Oh,
Not this year. He won't be fired this year. They'll ride him out. They got too much invested in him. They'll ride it out with him through the rest of the season.
All right, then how much longer do you think he'll make it?
Josh?
Yeah.
Possibly midway through next year.
Okay. Love it. Like Hugh Jackson will come back for year 3. Everyone knows it's going to be terrible. And when it was proven terrible, they'll kick him out. Thank God. Okay. You'll like this one. The Steelers' flight back from Las Vegas is a symbol of where their future is headed. Do you agree with that statement?
An emergency landing? Okay, well, sure. They're going to have to emergency land somewhere because they're eventually going to run into some trouble. So go ahead.
You're thinking they're trending down.
No, Pittsburgh's going to be Pittsburgh. What they're going to do is they're going to win enough games to screw up their first round pick and go in the next year and say, we still haven't had a losing season. But now with 17 games, 8-9 is a losing season.
Can they get to 9 wins this year?
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to need a lot of help from the refs, and the refs seem obliged to give them the help, but they're going to need a lot because
I actually think Houston's going to give them everything they can handle this week.
Nice.
I hope so.
All right. Which receiver will lead the Browns in receiving yards this season?
Amari Cooper.
Yeah. He has been phenomenal so far. Okay.
Well, barring health. Just let me put that in there.
I think, did we ask you, did you watch Quarterbacks, the Netflix show?
No.
Okay. Well, you've seen Pat Mahomes. He's on every commercial. Every time there's a commercial, he's on more commercials than they used to have, like the daily fantasy, like 5 or whatever years ago in the NFL. But he's probably the best quarterback currently playing in the NFL. But does that stop half the team from secretly hating him when they come in on like a Monday hungover and he's all like peppy and hey dog? Do you think his teammates sometimes get a little irritated with him?
Nah, because he's dragging a lot of his teammates into commercials and they're all making money if you think about it. Just look at the State Farm commercials and everything else like that. So I would say no.
Well, a guy that is not like the rah-rah guy, Jerome Ford was on Good Morning Football and said Deshaun Watson has a huge work effort, and he commands attention by just kind of being, a little more low-key. He mentioned one time Jerome Ford was slacking, and Watson stepped up to him and said, come on, man, you got to bring it up. And that was all Jerome Ford needed, and he kind of woke up. So I guess I'm asking, does Deshaun Watson have a quality that is maybe the better way to go than being all annoying? He mentioned one time he was... Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was some feedback there.
Listening to yourself talk, Andy?
Yeah.
He loves listening to himself talk.
He's a man inside his own head. Listen, the whole Deshaun Watson thing for me is this. Once you have your head coach and your quarterback thinking with the same brain, okay, and your head coach and your elite quarterback trust each other, that permeates throughout the rest of the team. Either way you want to cut it up. Neither one of them could be rah-rah guys. It doesn't matter. If you're elite, you're elite. If you're winning, you're winning. And if you're leading by the example of your play, that is all that counts.
Fair enough. Jadeveon Clowney will sleep through his alarm Sunday and miss the Browns game.
Very possible.
Okay. Kevin Stefanski is jealous of all the credit Jim Schwartz is getting.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he's liking that he's not on the hot seat.
He's just a robot that Dee Podesta made. You don't care.
Hey, shout out Lana because she loves that dude. Like, I don't know if she's married or not, but she loves him. If she has a husband, it's more than her husband. If she's not married, then
free game.
She loves him. We have some.
Yeah. That's the Stefanski jersey made. We all know this.
Yeah.
Hey, she got it signed. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
What is worse, the Ravens losing to the Colts or the Cowboys losing to the Cardinals?
Throw a dart, 6 of one, half dozen in the other. Seriously. I mean, you came out and you had all the press and everything else like that. Oh my God, the Ravens got OBJ. Oh my God, they're going to have this new offense. Oh my God, they got Todd Monken. I haven't really seen it yet, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, they played a good game against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's struggling in its own right. They struggled against Houston, and they lost to Indy. So it's like, what are we talking about here? As far as Dallas blowing it to the Cardinals, Dallas is Dallas. They're going to do that every year. I mean, seriously, they've been the most hyped team. They're every year in the preseason, Dallas is winning the Super Bowl, and that's it. And what happens?
Doesn't everyone just make fun of Mike McCarthy anyway?
Yeah.
For some reason, he's not made fun of all of a sudden.
All I'll say is this. You mark this one down. Grab your pen and paper. Thank God we didn't hire Mike McCarthy. Thank God we didn't hire Josh McDaniels. Thank God you hired.
Oh
Kevin
my God,
Stefanski.
yes.
Yeah.
I
I'll
like
leave it
that.
at that.
Chugging
I like
in
him.
one.
Because those were your candidates, if you think about it, when we were looking for a head coach.
I messed up drinking there. It was very embarrassing.
Andy, do you have two different beers you're drinking? I swear I saw Coors Light when I first came on here.
Yeah, I
Usually
drank
has natter
Coors Light.
days.
Now I got a natter day. I'll probably
Okay.
get Coors Light next. But I'm drinking them. You know what? Fuck it. We're having fun.
Here, I brought this just for
Double fist.
Andy. There you go. See,
Hell
there you go.
yes.
Stone Cold style. Stone Cold style.
All right.
Coors Light's what Stone Cold drank.
I actually think we're going to look back in 2 to 3 years from now, and we're going to look at Kevin Stefanski as one of the best hires we've ever made since Paul Brown. I'm just putting it out there now.
God, I hope,
Wow.
you're right. I hope you're right.
Damn. That's quite the statement. That's if I had some beer, I would chug on that, but I can't chug. I don't have any beer left.
Well,
RIT did say hi when you were talking earlier. I didn't want to interrupt, but he said we're going to show them on Sunday why we're winning the North this year.
Oh, that's my man, Rhett. Shout out to Rhett.
all
You're
right.
doing well, my
Yeah,
friend.
Jay's a space guy. Hey, I know you can expect a call from Lana and her crew as a guest on their podcast after that Stefanski statement you just made. So you're in good with her now. I'll tell you that much.
Now it's the cherry on top.
Hey, I honestly, if I
See
can
you,
get, if I
see you
can
down
get,
the
like,
dial.
if I can get 5 seconds, I really have to shout out Rhett, and I really have to just send him so much appreciation and love, because he's actually the reason why I'm back in Spaces. It's a long story. I'm not going to bore you with it. But I just wanted to let that be known. Rhett, you're
Hey,
special.
do you want to come on Dog Show?
You're a special guy, bro, and we all love you. But let's continue.
Hey, let's bring him on Dog Show. Nick,
Brett,
welcome on Dog Show.
come on, Dog Chug.
Bring
Yeah,
everyone on
absolutely,
Dog Show.
man. Absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
my favorite non-me podcast ever. I promise you. It's my favorite non-me Cleveland Browns podcast that there is.
Nice.
We'll have a good time. We swear and everything.
We haven't even talked about the
King
defense
Edward
yet.
certified.
He's in.
All right, good. We don't have to
That's it.
book another
There you
week.
go, man. All right.
There you go.
Got
Where's
another
the bum
sucker.
off of your
Awesome.
space?
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Get, Brian's got my info. DM me or text me, whatever, man. We'll set it up.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so during the last segment, Roger mentioned Elijah Wood. Who is Elijah Wood?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming it's Elijah Moore.
Yeah, Elijah Moore.
I caught that too, but I wasn't going to say anything because Roger's my friend. I mean, I'm a guest here.
Sorry, Roger.
That's your boy, Raj, doing that to you, not me. Just want to
Hey.
let you know that.
In case,
Andy
you
always
didn't,
does that. Andy
You know
always
what I meant.
in case you didn't realize, I'm an asshole.
You guys all looked at me like my kids look at me when I'm calling them by different names, and I didn't know why. There you go.
I just whistle at my kids in different whistles. They know
Right.
I'm whistling at.
Yeah.
David Evan Smith, who was
Hey, if
on,
all I screw up as a
Right.
name to, if all I screw up as a name tonight, we're in good shape.
he confirmed Dog Jug is a fun time. That's awesome. Thank you.
the Aussies know.
Appreciate it. All right. Okay, what's worse? Which division is worse? The American League Central or the AFC South?
Whew.
That's a tough one. That's actually a really tough one.
We asked the hard questions on.
Can we
the Dog
spit
Jug.
to both of them?
Yeah, exactly. He's 6 and 1/2 dozen any other. Let's continue.
Roger, you're a baseball guy and a football guy. How would you answer this one?
Repeat that.
Which is worse, the AFC South or the American League Central?
I'm gonna have to go AFC South.
Wow. I mean, the
I
team
can't
that wins
argue it.
that, like, it might be 7 and 10 that wins that division.
No, stop it.
Who's decent?
Jacksonville will be better. I promise you, Jacksonville will be better.
I want to believe they will.
I don't know, man. The wheels looks like the wheels already fell off.
Understand how much money I've lost on Jacksonville already this young season?
I think that
I'll tell you when to bet on them. You just come to me when you want to bet on the Jaguars. I'll tell you when.
I think that
Okay.
division
All
could
right.
be won. I think that division could be won with 8 or 9 games. To be honest with you,
It's gonna be.
I don't see anybody winning 10 games in that division.
It's gonna be 10-12 by Jacksonville. They're gonna run away with it.
All right.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I think no, because regardless of the Guardians / Indians not being to the World Series, but overall, the Detroit Tigers, the White Sox, they've won their fair share of world championships, man. And with the old Indians back in the day, compared to that division in football, you can't even compare the championships.
But we're talking about this year, though, Raj.
The 2023
right
team.
now.
Yeah, we're talking about 2023.
Oh yeah, but I'm old, so the history's included for me, so it matters.
I'm glad I'm not the only old one here, but okay, let's.
Because I don't remember yesterday, but I remember 1978.
Me too. Unfortunately,
Glory days.
Stop bringing it up. I'm tired of thinking old. Go ahead, Andy.
All right, so
I'm usually sleeping by this point of the show. Why are you bothering me?
Roger, you've never been asleep when I've been on, so don't say that. You stay up just for me, so thank you.
You've been on twice, so the other.
No, I've been on 3 or 4 times now, just twice this year.
Apologies.
Twice just a season.
11 more.
I can confirm though. There's been at least 98 shows where he was asleep.
I plan on Eddie being here 11 more times.
I love it. My liver loves it.
Well,
my liver was like, please chug every Wednesday for me. I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying.
yeah.
Just part of the routine.
That's right.
All right. This past week, Jerome Ford proved his mettle as a receiver. In your opinion, how many yards would how many yards do you think he can hit this year with the Cleveland Browns rushing?
Jerome Ford?
Yeah.
700?
700 would be great. And you think
somewhere around there?
800? I love it.
Yeah, 700 I think would be fair. Because she's going to share carries. I do though think that Kareem, once he gets his legs back up underneath him, can hit 1,000. There's enough time for that to happen.
That would blow my mind.
There's enough time for that to happen. We're
I
on
will
3
send you
games
$50. If that happens, I'll send you $50. Just straight up, I'll send you $50.
Send me a case of Coors Light. I'll take that instead.
Hell yeah. I'll send you a case of Coors Light if he hits 1,000 yards. Was he injured last year, in your opinion? Because he looked like he lost that top gear.
Who, Kareem?
Yeah.
No. Interestingly enough, I'm glad you brought that up because Aditi broke a story during the game where if you go back to last year, a lot of fans out there, and I'll try to be quick. All right, we're on Kevin Stefanski and the play calling and saying that they always put Kareem in bad spots. Okay. Well, it actually, and I remember last year listening to Stump, okay, telling Kareem that he needed to do this, he needed to do that, he could be better if he would just dedicate himself a little bit more, so on and so forth, he could be an elite back in the NFL. Well, all that got washed up under the rug. Well, according to what Aditi said, when she talked to Kareem this week, Kareem sat down before the Browns signed him with Kevin Stefanski on a one-on-one. And he told Aditi that he told Kevin Stefanski the difference between last year and this year is that he will be 100% all in.
Wow.
He wasn't 100% all in last year. Okay. Not mentally, not, whatever else. He just wasn't. For some reason or another.
Was he upset that the Browns weren't showing commitment to him?
Didn't give a specific reason, but all he told Aditi was like the difference between last year and this year. He goes, I'm 100% bought in to everything.
Andy, what you just said is absolutely what transpired. He wanted an extension. He didn't get one. They said, all right, go out and do what you do. He didn't do what he does. And then, he went all offseason, no team. And now he lands back with the Browns. At first, I was very meh on it. And then a couple runs. He didn't do anything spectacular on Sunday. But a couple runs, I was like, okay, once he's back, we're good.
I didn't expect him to do very much Sunday either. But if you go back and you look at last year, some of the press conferences, Stump did talk about Kareem.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it. I pretty much try to watch every press conference by all the position coaches because that's where you learn a lot. Yeah. Stump did talk about Kareem and trying to get him to be more patient, to make better decisions with the ball as far as when the handoff comes and let things open up, so on and so forth. not be as reckless. I mean, Stump covered a lot of things with him. So I don't know. I mean, if he's going to be 100% bought in, and that's why I said earlier in the pod, if we can get the Kareem that was in Kansas City with Mahomes here now with Deshaun, as this passing game evolves, it's gonna bode very well for us.
All right. But will Kareem have like 12 injuries since he missed training camp? And
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so because they say he's in real good shape. He's cut 10 pounds from last year, which that doesn't seem like a lot, but in NFL terms, that is a lot of weight to cut. You know, for
It is.
And to maintain that. So they, like you said, they love Kareem Hunt. It wasn't anything about him as a person is why he didn't come back. He just lost a step last year, and Andrew Berry were just like, nope, we can't have that. And then now they're in a position when Nick Chubb goes down, who's better than a replacement than his best friend? The only guy that can get him to smile on a football field.
And new incentive.
All right. Just a couple more here. Miami Dolphins had 70 points and are currently leading the league in points. I actually have a little bet on Miami to have the most points, so I'm excited about that. But will they continue leading the league in points scored, or are things going to come back down to normal?
No. I think eventually what's going to happen, not to throw any shade at what they've done because they have phenomenal receivers. McDaniels is doing a really good job utilizing the talent that he has. When Tua is on time, on target, they're very, very effective. The problem they have is their offensive line. The minute they face a formidable defensive line that's able to disrupt their rhythm and timing, they're going to struggle. They remind me a lot of the Kurt Warner days with the Rams, the greatest show on turf, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk. That was all rhythm and timing based. As soon as you got Kurt Warner off his mark in that offense, they struggled. Hence the reason why Tennessee damn near beat him in the Super Bowl when they had McNair. So will they be able to do that against the lesser teams that won't be able to expose that offensive line? Sure. But once they start running into teams that will be able to do that and get him off his mark a little bit, it's going to get interesting.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess my bet's fucked.
No, I'm not going to say it's not. I'm just telling you.
I don't think it's fucked at all. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think you're going to be all right because how many teams can do that? I mean, think about it.
Well,
the top three. Listen.
Thankfully,
Andy,
they don't play the Browns, right?
Andy, the top three teams in football right now, okay, to me, defensively, is San Francisco, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Okay, as far as the front sevens go. I think what separates Cleveland from the rest of the NFL is their secondary.
We have the backside.
Yeah, San Francisco doesn't have the secondary we have. Pittsburgh doesn't have the secondary we have. Can't even count Baltimore. Their defense is a mess. Buffalo doesn't have the secondary we have.
Right.
So I think that's truly is what. And by the way, I'm not ready to do this yet. I'm going to wait till Sunday. But after Sunday, I will be ready to do two things. And I won't do it until either I come back on here or I do it in a space. I'm going to give a record prediction for the end of the year. And I am going to go ahead and call out the Browns defense because I believe right now they're on a historic pace. And I've already done my research on the best defenses ever in the Super Bowl era. I'm going to reserve my comment to crown them until after next week. But I got a feeling I'm going to be right.
Wow.
Russ,
I'm down.
Historic
So
pace.
we're slamming the over.
Yeah, slamming it.
Betting
I'm
the
down.
spread.
Better than the 85 Bears. I'm already on record.
They're
We're
close.
slamming the
Got me on
under. I don't know
record.
what it is.
They're really
Love it.
close. They're
I love
really,
it.
really close. I mean, you want to break some? Listen to this, right? You got break down some of the numbers real fast.
It's the modern NFL, though.
Yards per game. The Browns are giving up 163 yards per game. Okay. The next closest right now is Buffalo at 253. That's a difference of 89 yards per game. The Browns are giving up 111 yards per game in the passing game. The next closest is 142. That's, again, Buffalo, and that's a 30-yard difference. In rushing, That's a little closer. We're giving up 52 yards a game. San Francisco's giving up 53. The next closest is Buffalo, and there is a 60-yard difference between us and San Francisco. Points per game. Now, this is where it gets a little skewed. According to the ESPN metric, they have us at 10 points per game. They have Buffalo at 11.7 points a game. However, if you take away the defensive touchdowns by Pittsburgh, we're literally giving up 6 points a game. 6 points a game. 18 offensive points in 3 games. That's ridiculous. Okay. Total yards. We've given up 491 total yards. Buffalo's the next closest at 759. That's a 269-yard difference between first and second place. How about this one for a metric?
A little bit.
Buffalo has given up 41 first downs. All right, I want everybody to think about this real quick. 41 first downs Buffalo has given up in 3 games. That's an average of 13 first downs a game. That'd be a pretty phenomenal stat, right? Would you guys agree?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The Browns have given up 21 in 3 games. They're giving up an average of 7 first downs a game.
The thing that gets me about all of those numbers and all of that is that's how many, that's 5, 6, 7, 8 different teams compared to our one defense.
Yeah, they're not even close.
We're in first or second place, but we have it all, man.
They're not.
Buffalo has that. This defense has this. These defense. We're right there, all the way down the line. One team, where every other, you know what I mean? It's one, Miami here. It's just we got it all, man. It's a complete package. It's like the perfect storm. That movie where all 3 of the storms are coming together, and that George Clooney's out there, Stefanski's out there riding that son of a bitch.
I mean, think about this, okay? I have the picture. I didn't tweet it out, but in the tweet that I put out before I came on to the show, I looked at the halftime stats of the Tennessee game. They had 67 total yards, 67 in the first half. And actually, my tweet was wrong, and I tried to edit it, and it was too late. I tweeted out that Buffalo only had 34 yards total in the second half. Well, that's not true. They only had 27. They had 27 total yards in the second half. That is a team that has King Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, and I don't give a shit what you say about Ryan Tannehill. He's still a mid-level quarterback in the NFL who, by the way, had an 81 completion percentage in the previous game coming into ours. That's an NFL team where those guys get paid too, and you held them to under 100 yards of total offense. At some point, this defense is going to have to get recognized. They're on a historic pace. I'm telling you right now. They've exceeded my expectations of what I thought this defense was going to be coming into the year.
I would hope so. No one should have expected what we've seen. I want to go back, though. You mentioned the best defenses in the league. I think you specifically mentioned 49ers, the Browns, the Steelers, the Bills. Why didn't you mention the Broncos or the Bears?
The top 3, according to Bleacher Report right now, is the 76 Steelers. Okay, the 1976 Steelers.
No, I'm talking this year. This season.
Oh, that abomination that happened in Miami. Yeah,
Bears and Broncos.
I wonder how Sean Payton. Oh my God, Andy, you're gonna get me started. Now you're gonna get me fired up. You really
don't got to talk about them. This is a Browns podcast.
You're really gonna get me fired up. No,
we're not worried about them.
No, the reason. No. The reason why I'm gonna get fired up here is because how many Browns fans wanted to fire Stefanski and hire Sean Payton?
Who cares about them?
How'd that look?
Oh my 60%.
God! Tell me how that looked. That he had the audacity to come out and say that last year's staff was the worst coaching job he's ever seen, but he gives up 70 points and his team flat out quit and laid on the ground.
Nathan
Oh, come on, please. Get
Hey,
out of here with that.
in the defense, in Browns fans' defense, they're idiots.
True.
See, I didn't want to get fired up on your podcast tonight. I'm sorry. I
Every
No,
you're right, man. Any new name, any free agent, any coach, it doesn't matter. And double the points if it's a Buckeye, because Cleveland fans want that next person. It doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who it is, man. Cleveland fans will clamor for anybody.
Yeah. Well, thank God they're not the ones running the Browns. We
You
got to
ain't
move it
lying.
along, though. We got just a few more left. This is a fun one. Which member of the dog
Oh,
chug?
more. Wow.
What happened?
Which member of the dog chug will expire first?
Me.
Nope,
Oh, I'm
you're
not a member. I'm sorry.
Between me, Ross, and Roger.
What do you mean by
Well,
expire? Explain.
Like, who will be the first to go from living to death?
I'm going on mute.
Wow, look at that. He did say he watches coaches' press conferences, so
It's
he knows how to play the game.
That's true.
You know, Roger's a little bit older than I am, but
Your liver sucks, dude.
way bigger alcoholic. So I think like the easy answer is that Ross is going to live longer than both of us. But it's
Hey, Roger did admit in one of our chats this week that he doesn't accidentally get drunk on Wednesdays. He's an alcoholic on Wednesdays, so he's making progress.
There we go.
since BG refuses to answer that one because he's a coward. Eddie,
I'm going to outlive all of you.
I'm going with you, Andy. I'm going with you, buddy. I'm sorry, but all that alcohol you chug, it's going to catch up. I don't want it to. I hope to God it doesn't. I hope I get to see you chug at your 100th birthday party.
this might be my last episode of the dog chug. So everyone,
in all fairness, Ross does look like the younger one here. I mean,
Ross is the younger. Ross is
he's going to probably outlast us.
How
all.
do you know that, huh? I might be well over 30.
We're not even close to 30 because I'm 32 and you're not even close to me.
I told my sons I'm going to live to be 120.
I hope so.
I can't die. Nothing can get me. Well,
all right. The Bengals may have won relatively ugly on Monday Night Football against a matchup where the Rams looked awful. Like, oh my God. But do the Bengals get back into the playoff race, or does Burrow's injury linger and hold them back all season?
I actually think Tennessee's really going to put it on them. I mean, if you look at the pressure Tennessee put on Watson, even with their offense being anemic, think about that for a second. Their defense spent a lot of time out on that football field. And even into the fourth quarter, they were still bringing the heat on Watson. They bring that kind of heat on Burrow. It'll be a long day for Cincinnati. I actually, seriously, 100% was very impressed with Tennessee's front four. Very impressed.
Their front seven underrated.
Yeah.
Most underrated in the entire NFL.
Yeah, very impressed. So they bring that kind of heat on Burrow, it's going to be a long day for Cincinnati.
All right, we got one more. We're going to end on a Baker one, obviously. Baker looked like his old self the first two games of the season before faltering on Monday. At what point did the cheesecake story start popping up along with other nonsense in Tampa?
Man, that's like remember the Baker cycle meme?
Oh, it was awesome.
It's exactly what's going on down there.
Although all those Cheesecake Factory is one of my favorite restaurants. There is a Cheesecake Factory within 10 minutes of the stadium, so there's a good possibility. I live down here. I'm close to Tampa. I've been to that Cheesecake Factory. You can almost see the stadium from where it's located. So,
have you seen Baker getting a blowjob at that Cheesecake
I
Factory?
didn't say that. I didn't say that. Stop.
Was the convertible top down?
That you saw it. I'm asking if you saw it, and you apparently you're not answering, which makes me think you maybe saw.
Well, no,
it.
he did hear what Aditi King Kubwala did interview Baker, and she said,
"Oh no,"
that he said,
Eddie, I think he needs to stop swapping his beers. He's getting a little confused over there.
Andy's always confused. That's why I love him. But he's like the most sane person I've ever met, though. It's weird.
All right. So do you think Baker's gonna have a successful season with Tampa? Like he could possibly be there next year?
Yeah, he probably will be there next year because Baker's going to do what Baker does. He's going to win enough games to make you think he's the shit, and he's going to
In the
lose
second
enough.
worst division in football.
And he's going to lose enough games to make you pissed, but not enough to, unless you're a smart organization, move on from him.
Yeah, but look at the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can get him into the playoffs. You know?
If he was in the AFC South, he would be phenomenal.
I've said this many, many times. Baker Mayfield's going to wake up one day in his mid-50s, and he's going to realize that Kevin Stefanski was the best thing that could ever happen to him in his life, and he blew it.
Never.
I actually didn't agree with that because he has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, so he'll be fine. He
will never, ever, ever recognize his past faults. He doesn't have that.
No, he'll never.
He just fall back on being a commentator for college football. He's fine.
He would excel in that.
All right. Thank you for that. That was awesome. We're going to move along to Spit Sip Chug, which
I'm grabbing a beer before this.
Everyone's favorite game.
Oh, well, man, that means I gotta open up another one. I'm empty. You guys kept me on so long.
That's what happens.
This is terrible. And it's warm because I couldn't even go to the refrigerator, but okay.
Go to the refrigerator. We'll do an intermission. We'll have like the little popcorn and beer cans come out and dance.
Roger, I'm a professional. I'll drink warm beer, bro.
Drink warm beer? I bring a bucket of ice.
I'll tell you, those pumpkin beers I chugged Saturday, I had those really warm.
Hey, can I do a shout out real quick?
Sure.
I got to shout out the Spaces because we're really trying to make it work in the Browns community out there on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you call it. Obviously, you could always catch me, BG in the morning, whatnot. There's another group out there called Off the Clock with my man J.O. and his brother. They do a phenomenal job as well. Browns After Dark are still out there too. But listen, it's a really good place to go if you want some content on a daily basis other than what the freaking stupid-ass radio spews at you. Just wanted to shout everybody out that follows me out there. All my Off the Clock people and everything else. So I just wanted to put that little in.
Since you said the stupid radio, I've listened to you guys. I listened to Space, and I was sitting in the background when Ross was on the other night. But on KNR today with the stupid nicknames, with the elves, with the Hellion Elves.
Hell's Elves.
They're coming up with a nickname for the defense, and I was livid.
Did you hear the morning?
The dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Roger, did you hear the morning that me and Ken Carmen and Jason Lloyd went at it a little bit? Did you catch that?
I'm sure I did.
All right. Sure. So they were all over Deshaun Watson, right? And they were talking about style points, right? Oh, we've got to see him throw for 350.
Yes,
we got to see him do this. So I literally called in the radio that morning because it just pissed me off beyond belief. And I told them, I says, well, wait a minute here. Time out. So you're telling me that you have to see 350, 3 touchdowns, yada, yada for validation? I said, what's wrong with 275, 2 touchdowns with back-breaking throws, and you win the game? What's the difference?
Right.
Yeah, when Deshaun led the league in passing yards, didn't he have 4 wins?
Yeah, exactly. And
a lot of garbage time yards, man. A lot of garbage time yards.
Yeah, exactly. And Jason Lloyd literally came at me and said, I don't even know what you're talking about. What the hell is a back-breaking throw? Oh, okay. Allow me 10 seconds, Andy.
See,
what happened Sunday?
Yeah, man.
What happened Sunday? Ooh, let me remind everybody what happened Sunday. 27 out of 33, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 81% completion percentage. And oh, by the way, if you want to talk about the back-breaking throws, 39-yard completion to DPJ on the edges.
Beautiful.
Touchdown pass to Jerome Ford. 40-yard completion touchdown pass to Amari Cooper. Those aren't back-breaking throws.
Not to mention the other one to Cooper that should have been.
But I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well,
they're the experts.
Listen, I
Sorry
just want
about
to go out and say to the audience, everyone that wants to hear Browns content should go check out the spaces at 11 a.m.
Definitely.
It's so relevant. It's so interesting. It's so fascinating. They break it down. There's a little bit of, like, there's back and forth. They really beat things up.
And nobody's going to try to sell you a fucking window.
Yeah.
Every 5 fucking minutes, nobody's going to try to sell you a diamond fucking ring. Go listen to these guys. You know what I found out over years and years. I mean, I go back to the Professor Sindelar. All right. These fucking guys on the radio, they don't know nothing. They don't know anything, man. They don't know any more than we do. I read their tweets. I listen to them, and I listen to them be wrong. Especially those bozos on 850. They're just forget about it over there. They don't know any more than we know.
You know what they're pissed off about?
They're throwing as much shit against the wall as we are to see what sticks, man.
You know what they're pissed off about over there, Raj?
They just got the bigger microphones because they went to broadcasting school.
Exactly. You know what they're pissed off about the most over there, Roger? Stefanski's not going to be fired by the bye week.
Right.
That's what they're most pissed about.
And writing the article and I read Eddie, I read Jacob. I don't need to read Mary Kay. I'm not paying for the plain dealer when it's nothing but I'll read the people on Twitter. I watch podcasts and I go into spaces to get my Browns info. I don't need mainstream media.
You didn't.
Need them.
Don't sleep on Mary Kay. That's the GOAT. She's tapped into
real sources.
Well, yeah.
I promise you,
I still won't pay for it.
Than anyone else. She's the most locked in. Sorry, that's our catchphrase.
Yeah, Mary Kay does her job. She's a bulldog.
GOAT.
But I still won't pay for it. I'd rather do with the fans, man, that cover Browns football just as good or even better than what the talking heads do, man.
As critical as I am on the Cleveland media, Mary Kay has my respect.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, Mary Kay,
I will say
she's coming on Dog Chuck, but it's too late, she said.
We said we could do it any time to accommodate your schedule.
The Dog Chuck confirms too many tweets, so she's offended.
Right.
Okay. All right, we're gonna. The show's getting a little late, so I'm gonna do the first spit sip chug only to BG.
Oh, jeez.
There.
Okay.
And then
If we disagree or agree, we chug with him or spit with him.
We can go around. So, you chug if you agree with the statement, you spit if you disagree, and if you're Roger, you sip. So
I'm sipping this week. I've already drank 4 beers.
Starting week 11 of the Browns season, we host the Steelers. Then we play in Denver at the LA Rams. We then host the Jags and the Bears. Play in Houston, and then we host the Jets. If the wheels haven't fallen off the bus, the Browns at a minimum are going to go 6-1 through those 7 games.
Oh, look at this guy.
That's got to be the easiest 7-game schedule in the history of the NFL, I would imagine, right?
It's up there.
Listen, if you can continue to play the defense that we're playing, no problem.
Oh, I'm chugging with him.
Yeah, I'm just going to
Chug him.
I think the way the Browns are built right now, they can easily do what they did to the Titans. Bad, mediocre to bad teams.
Hey, Andy, I thought you said BG was only talking.
Yeah.
Oh.
I told you during the bye week,
moderator over there.
I told you during the bye week, I'm going to come out with my record prediction, and I'm going to come out with my thoughts on what the defense is going to finish out this year.
All right.
During the bye week is when I'll be ready to do that.
All right. We're going to move on to statement number 2. Roger, we're going to start with you, obviously. The Cavs will not be able to compete with a healthy Bucks team with the trade for Damian Lillard today.
I'm going to sip on that. Because this is the first I'm hearing of Damian Lillard, but
Andy, I'm sorry.
The Cavs are going to be able to compete, and they're going to be able to compete. And if you need windows, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to call Window Direct. It's going to get you fast in there. So the Cavs will compete and get you some windows.
Wow.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Right, PG.
Yes, sir.
Can the Cavs compete with the new Milwaukee Bucks roster? He's chugging.
I think they can compete.
There
I
you
think
go.
they have enough. I think they have enough pieces and parts to be able to compete with them in different levels. I think that the Cavs defense was elite last year, and that'll continue this year. Bringing
Karis
in
LeVert.
bringing in Dame Lillard, okay, that's great. But what did Milwaukee give up? They gave up Drew Holiday, and they gave up Grayson Allen. Between those two players, they gave up over 40 minutes of floor time and 30 points. And you're going to expect a 33-year-old player to come out here and replace that. I think it's 6 and 1/2 dozen in the other as to what they really were. You're bringing in a superstar. You're bringing in a big name. I get it. Okay. But at the same time, tell me the last time Damian Lillard strung together 2 or 3 seasons of healthy years together.
All right.
Damn God.
So I think we could still compete.
All right. Eddie.
Absolutely, you can compete. Absolutely, you have Donovan Mitchell and the whole cast of characters. There's a whole, but certain guys need to step up for you guys this year. If they do that, you guys will be fine. They'll be right in the thick of things. I don't know if they make the Eastern Conference Finals or they lose along the way. I think they get out of the first round. I'll say that.
And just a reminder, Ed is not. He's not a Cavs fan, so
That's correct.
he's very neutral on this.
You guys are top 3 or 4 team in the league.
I think the Cavs, in all reality, I think the Cavs, even with Donovan Mitchell, are still a year, about 2 to maybe 3 years away from being a legitimate championship contender, and that is all based upon the evolution of Evan Mobley. Once Evan Mobley gets to where he needs to be, offensively, defensively, he's elite. But if he just develops that 3-point shot and in the 18-footer, he's going to be deadly. And I think that's when everything takes off from there. Now, could that come sooner than later? I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, they're still talented enough to compete. They're not going to embarrass themselves by any stretch of the imagination. I'll just leave it at that.
There you go.
I'm going to make this quick, maybe. I'm going to try and make this quick, I guess. I'm already doing a poor job. At the end of the day, we need to see development on the Cavs this year. I think we're going to get that. So I believe we're going to see guys take that next step up. And if we see that, then yes, hell yeah, we can contend. So I'm chugging. And I think I said this backwards. We're all chugging if we agree. I think, whatever.
You chugged. You're the only one.
No, that was just for the first statement. I thought, I'm chugging too. I just can't believe the Bucks got rid of Drew Holiday. He's an elite defender, probably the best defender at his position, and so you're trading that off for points with no defense. Pretty minimal defense at least. I don't think this is like a groundbreaking one, like people are saying. I think it'll help their overall points per game they get, maybe like 5 points a game or something. But when you lose that defense, that's a big deal in the East. And when you're going to get up against the Cavs specifically, we're not going to – Damian Lillard is going to score less points against us when we face them. And I think we're going to mature compared to last year. We had a very disappointing round 1. But, that's it. I don't think this is as groundbreaking as people are making it out to be. He's 33 years old. It's later in his career, but new NBA, I guess he could last a little longer, but we have a shot.
Well, not only that, Ross, but here's a little nugget for you. The Bucks gave up 113 points a game last year. The Cavs gave up 106. So with bringing in Damian Lillard and, like you said, letting go of Drew Holiday, do they improve on that 113 points defensively, or does it get worse?
It has to get worse. He was like the best defending point guard in the league, or one of the best.
There you go.
Wow. Love it. All right.
I do know my NBA a little bit.
You did great. We're going to move into statement number 3. This is going to be you, BG. If the Browns stay healthy, I think I know how you're going to answer this. How you're going to respond to this one. statement is if the Browns stay healthy, they will finish with a top 3 defense statistically. And I know you didn't want to, make that statement now, but
Saying this year in the league? This year?
Yep. All right, he chugged. Are you going to give any background why you chugged?
I will wait till the bye week to give my assessment.
You
Fair
tried.
enough. Eddie.
That's an open invitation if you guys want to have me back.
Oh, my God. Come back on.
All right.
That's a chug for me. I talked a lot about the defense earlier tonight on the Petty Eddie podcast. Me and Casey Kinnaman talked about the defense for the first half hour or so. Yeah, I'm with it. As of right now, they have not shown any signs of any let up or why we shouldn't think that will be the case.
Yeah. All right.
Check out the Petty Eddie podcast.
Hell yeah. From my perspective, one of the interesting things about this Brown season is we really aren't facing any elite offenses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Baltimore maybe, but
No,
they haven't really
they're
been
not elite.
tested. Yeah, I would totally agree. So, I mean, even San Fran is a great team. That's going to be a game that I'm probably going to expect. That's one we're going to come away with a loss. But like offensively, I'm not terrified of them. Right. So defensively, I think that if we stay healthy, and that's obviously the big if, they will absolutely be able to continue doing what they do. They're so well built, as BG already described. We're like one of the rare teams that you have the front seven and the defensive backfield. I know it's early and it's crazy, but like we've seen it 3 games in a row now. We saw it all preseason. I was like doing cartwheels about watching the defense through the preseason, and usually, preseason doesn't matter, but it's carried over. So I am absolutely buying in. The Browns defense is legitimate, and if we stay healthy, I think they're going to continue to just dominate. So chugging on this one.
Andy, can you do a cartwheel?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I need to know.
I'm joining the chug train.
If I drink 4 more beers, I probably can attempt one. That'll be fun. Right?
I want that recorded.
Yeah. Ross.
I just did a little chug the rest of the beer I had left. No, this defense is legit. You have like national media people talking about this, not just like local fans.
And the Kelsey brothers.
And Micah Parsons.
And let's not downplay week 1 of Joe Burrow missing camp and stuff. Like he looked way better against the other 2 teams he played besides us. Way better.
Yeah.
Like he found out his receivers. Like T. Higgins had a good week 2, and then Jamar Chase had a great week 3. So like we shut them down completely.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that excuse about we did play an elite quarterback already. We're playing another pretty solid elite one this weekend. So this defense in 3 games is consistent. They have swagger. They got it all. The hype from 2 years ago. I said this on BG Spaces. Remember the hype from 2 years ago with the secondary?
Yes.
We have the same fucking secondary.
Right, man.
We have the right goddamn coach.
It's
And
better
guess
with
what
the
we didn't have
safeties.
2 years ago? A good D-line.
safeties
We
are
have
better.
a fucking good D-line.
Right.
Good secondary, good D-line.
Joe Woods.
Not rocket scientists.
You're
But-
fucking right, Ross.
Because
Fucking right.
I'm not the rocket scientist. The rocket scientist is now in Arizona being the starting quarterback. But that's it. I'm chugging to this defense. It's real.
I love
No,
it.
there's no doubt about
Lamar's definitely a very good test because he's not your normal quarterback. So let's see
Yeah.
what happens here. And
Unicorn.
it's fair for BG to reserve his judgment because Lamar is completely unique. If you figure him out, you could probably figure out a lot of weird situations.
That's a great point.
That can benefit you in those weird situations, though.
it. During the bye week, I will give you an in-depth
Hey, you know who's
look.
good in weird situations? I'm not gonna say it because Roger will get mad at me for making it a Sean joke.
Oh. Damn,
All right,
you might
well-
get blocked, buddy. You might get blocked. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Rogers
I
Black
mean,
Fresh.
I'll never block you, but you might get blocked.
Roger said no more to Sean jokes, so I'm good.
All right, Roger.
I'm chugging.
4 chugs and you like to sip. What are you doing? You
I'm
still
chugging.
All right. Wow. It's a rare chug from
I'm-
Roger.
No, I'm chugging, and if they stay healthy, you know what the healthiest part of this defense is this year? Is that tumor that was Joe Woods was cut out. And we have some leadership. And the defensive coordinator is the health of this team. And it could definitely be a top 3 defense. And not only that, you can have a top 3 hoodie when you're hanging out with all your buddies. If you go to Network 216 right now and click on Network 216 and go to Homage and check out all the Homage gear, you can have a top 3 hoodie, top 3 T-shirt, and you can be top 3 with all your dudes if you go to Network 216 and buy some Homage from us.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna have. Hey, it gets cold down here in Florida. I'm gonna have to get me a hoodie.
I don't have windows to push, but I got T-shirts to hawk.
Number one in my heart. If you shop with our links, please do that.
Awesome.
All right. I think we're going to move on to statement number 4. This one will be going to me. It's time to replace Jed Wills, who is going to get our $230 million quarterback killed. I know this is controversial. Everyone is talking, but I'm just going to. Every team has a player that, isn't playing up to expectations or whatever. There is no way we're going to get a better guy at left tackle than
I'll be right back, fellas.
Average day.
All right.
Yeah, he is definitely underperforming where he was drafted, but stop crying about that. Like, it's okay to have guys that don't meet their performance as long as they're, above what is on the street, right? We can't really improve him and his, he takes plays off. He's lazy. He doesn't work up to his potential, but sometimes he does a good job. I know it's kind of weird this year. I think he's underperformed more than he has earlier in his career, but I think when you average it out, he'll have like a slightly below average career, which we're paying him, probably below average starting left tackle money. So I'm okay with it. Hopefully he doesn't get our guy killed. Every team has a weakness. You got to send protection, send help. The Bengals have terrible tackles, or they've had terrible tackles. It led to Joe Burrow getting injured, but they've also made it to like the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game. So they've proven to me that you can kind of have a liability and still get the job done. So I don't think the right move is to downgrade Jed Wills to a worse issue. Sorry for going on so long. Russ.
Yeah, I'm spitting with you as well. Because I kind of trust his coaching staff for judging who's better. And the worst thing you could do to Jed Wills, if you already think he's not motivated, could you imagine benching him and then being like, oh, you're back in? He's going to make way more mistakes and be less motivated if you bring him back in as a backup. Like, if people are doubting him being motivated as a starter, there's no way in hell he's going to be motivated as a backup. He will be giving up on plays. He won't care. He's got his guaranteed money from his 5th-year option coming. Like, it's just a terrible idea. He's going to try way hard just keeping him a starter, keeping him in. He's definitely serviceable. Like, he's not elite, but he's serviceable. He's above average probably.
Yeah.
And I'll be right back too.
Roger.
No, you know what? It is time, but there's nobody to replace him, so I'm spitting because you're not going to find a left tackle right now in week 3 out in the NFL that's available. Unless Denver, who's their left tackle, if they have a fire sale and you can.
No. No.
So, yeah. So is he going to get our $230 million quarterback killed? I think Stefanski's going to scheme it up. I think Watson's aware of the weakness, where the weakness is on his offensive line. But you know what? If you want to kill, you know what's killer? If you join 216 to score and you go in there and get some betting tips, you can wipe up and kill it in there with the 216 to score.
Hell yeah. PG.
I'm learning about all these perks, man.
I'm trying to get a job at 850.
All right, first of all, I want some free picks from you, Roger, and I want a hoodie. So that's my my request. No, I mean you're 6 1/2 dozen any other with Jed. I could chug, I could spit. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You're caught between a double and a deep blue sea. I gotta believe that if there was somebody out there right now that Andrew Berry could replace Jedrick Wills with that's better, they would have done it by now. I think they would have made the move, and I think they would have done it by now. And I also think if it was that dire of a situation, okay, Callahan would have said something by now as well. So we all forget about Bill Callahan. I mean, we all look at the surface and we all look at, what's being caught on tape of him standing around on, occasional plays. But we're not looking at every single snap and of the all 22 either, right? So I got to put trust in Barry. I got to put trust in Callahan, and I got to put trust in Stefanski that if it was that dire of a situation, they would have made a move by now. But I also think that there's nothing out there to improve it from what he is. So it's like something you got to live with, I guess. I mean, I don't know other way to put it. I really don't. Am I enamored by him? No. I've defended him for the last couple of years, but I'm to the point now where I can't even argue it anymore. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, if there was a move that we made, I think they would have made it by now if it was that dire of a situation.
All right. Love it. Eddie?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of in agreement with BG and not at the same time. So if there's no better move out there. I don't care what you think of Jedrick Wills, where you rank him in the top 32 of left tackles in the league. There's no replacing him right now. And before on the pregame show that we did on here on the Network 216 YouTube channel last week, I couldn't defend him anymore. I was like, all right, I'm done defending him. Well, last week he played a pretty good game. Yeah, there's that, the viral clip or whatever of where he just gets lost and he just like deer in headlights. Okay, that happens. Every great left tackle Joe Thomas had that happen to him a few times. Maybe not necessarily deer in headlights. He allowed sacks to happen. But last week against Tennessee, Jedrick Wills played one of his best games in a long time. He can build off that, then that's perfect because he can still play into his fifth-year option next year and become the long-term success to this position. So I don't have any beer left, but I would like sip that because I think that last week was a great sign.
Yeah, I agree. He had a great second half last week. He really did. And that kind of leans into what I said about Deshaun earlier, where he was in complete command of the game. Finally, for once, I saw Deshaun in complete command of the game.
Sure.
And that showed up with Jed. So,
All right. Well, that concludes Spit Sip Chug. Thank you, everyone.
Wow.
And
best segment of any podcast that there is. I promise you that. The best segment.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Now we're getting to this part of the show where Andy has to pee, so we're just gonna end this really fast.
Andy's gotta pee. I had to chase a cat that ran outside. You gotta pee? Come on now. That's a cheap excuse.
Minor leagues.
Listen, you tried chugging 7 beers during the
Hey, you're the chug expert here. You're the chugologist. So you should be up to date on this shit.
Are you going to make it back to the green room? That's all I got to know.
Bottle right here, then I'd be okay. But I don't have
to. Are you going to make it back to the green room after you pee? That's all I need to know.
He will.
I will be fine. I've done this before. But the point is, I just want to say this has been an amazing show.
Great show.
I appreciate y'all.
We probably had the most statistical accurate Browns talk. There was like 20 to 80 nonsense to actually learning ratio, which is a little out of my element, but had a great time. Really excited for this Baltimore game. And I just want to thank Eddie for coming on, chugging another victory beer. I can't wait to see you do it.
Hanging out.
Twice next week. Beginning
we lost three of our followers that can't add, but that's okay.
Don't worry about them.
And you're going to drink 2 beers back to back, Eddie. I think you need.
Oh, now it's back to back?
Yeah, back to back.
Okay, I'll switch. I'm switching it out. It's back to back now. It's official.
Yeah, everyone tune in.
The Ravens this Sunday. Next Wednesday, I'll come on the show at the top of the hour, chug 2 beers, and I'll get off this, and you guys talk to whoever the hell you're talking to.
BG, I mean, oh my God, it was so awesome. You had so much amazing stuff to talk around with.
No,
And
the pleasure was all mine. You guys are great, and you're
appreciate that.
phenomenal at what you do, and it's an honor to be here with you guys. It really is.
It's an honor that you come and join us, sir.
Yeah. We just appreciate people that can come
Yeah,
on and talk
absolutely.
Browns in a realistic way without the spin, without the nonsense. Everyone go check out his spaces because that's what you're getting.
He's
Right,
legit.
and I listen to it during the day at work.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
He's the people's radio show host. The
Right.
people's.
Radio shows are trying to, be personalities, draw some dissension. Because listen, if you put a tweet out there that has like a little bit of negativity into it, it gets into a little bit where half people will like it and half people won't like it. That's when you get a lot of engagements. And unfortunately, the radio people, that's what they're doing. So go on BG and you'll just get realistic Browns talk. And that's why I love it.
Yep.
That's why I keep tuning in. So come tune in with me next time. It's awesome. Anyway, with that said, I gotta piss. So
Best ending ever.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Ross. And go Browns. We got a big game this Sunday. We got to win this one.
Go Browns.
Let's end. Let's come back next week in first place. Let's do this.
Must win.
Yep. Eddie, Brian, salute.
My man.
Salute.
Here we go.